Welcome to FatFitFam. This is the realest Singapore fitness podcast in Singapore. Realest Singapore podcast in Singapore. Okay, I'll do it again. Welcome to FatFitFam. This is the realest fitness podcast in Singapore. I'm Dan.
I'm Jimmy.
And today we'll be talking about fat loss. Why, how, and staying motivated.
Hey, so Dan, I heard you lost a lot of weight recently. So
I did,
what's your motivation on losing weight?
Okay, maybe I'll take it back to way back when lah. So maybe I'll start with what was my peak weight and how long ago. So as of this recording, we are in August 2025, and my peak weight was last year in February 2024, or at least that I know of lah. So at that time, I was in Japan with my wife for a holiday. And then many years back, I went to an onsen in Japan. Have you been onsen?
I've been to onsen.
It's lovely, right?
It's very lovely.
It's like I prefer it more than massage or whatever. I prefer just chilling in the pool, hot,
Totally
cold
agree.
both.
For me, I love onsen because the few hours before I'll be working out.
Right.
I use onsen to recover my muscles.
Right. So I think in Japan, when we were there, we were hiking a lot and walking a lot. So I was like, okay, in the hotel, there was an onsen. Built-in one, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. My wife, I think she stayed in the room, but I went, and then there just happened to be a weighing scale there. I don't have a weighing scale at home.
Oh yes.
So I was like, I don't know whether, do you think every onsen has that?
I think every onsen has it.
Maybe, right?
I mean, I've only been to 2 onsens.
And both have
So both has it.
So mine had.
Yeah.
So I stepped on the scale like out of curiosity. I haven't been on a weighing scale for a while. So I stepped on it, then I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, I was 89 kg.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So that was my heaviest. Okay, you might say it's crazy, right? But to some, actually 89 might be their normal weight, whatever, right? But given my height, right? So I'm only 169 cm, right?
Okay,
Not super tall. And that actually, when you check GPT, you can fact check now, Jimmy, right? That with 89 kg and 169 cm, right? My BMI is actually way off the charts. It's actually considered, I think, borderline obese, or like I wouldn't say extremely overweight, but borderline obese. So I think this is something that I went to check on my phone lah when I was at the onsen. I was thinking, so we didn't check GPT here to double check. So with the calculations and whatnot. So maybe, yes, which class am I at? What's the number?
So your BMI 31, so it's a bit overweight.
Yes, I am
obesity
obese.
class 1.
Exactly, I was obese. And as much as this ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is not 100% correct, right? But actually, obesity is a numeric calculation, or rather BMI is a numeric calculation.
Yeah.
If I would have went to the doctor, he would have told me the same thing.
Correct.
I'm obese.
Yes.
And it is something that hit me like a brick, because I used to be, very fit, playing rugby, all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I realized that, how did I get here? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And then you kind of look back and you realize, it was a slow progression. It was never an overnight thing. I'm suddenly 89, right? So back to being reflective and how I gained that much weight, right? Was basically I realized, I started working. So after finishing school, I started working, and then the job that I had was, I would say, almost 24/7 kind of role, where I had to respond to things in the middle of the night, etc., etc. So I think one key thing is I didn't get much sleep, right?
Yes.
So without much sleep, I was depending on other things to keep me awake. Okay. So not only that, I didn't have much time to exercise, and I know this is all excuses, right? But at the same time, which is why I decided to throw away those excuses now, lah. But these are excuses, but I'll just explain. So I told myself I didn't have time because I'm working. I need to make the bread, you just started your job, you need to impress your boss. Especially when you first started out working.
Yes.
I was an office worker, and we graduated about like end of COVID-ish. So we started working from home. So most of the time we were at home, you and me, but also I was at home, maybe going to office once a week, maybe twice a week. So I was, bed, the office, the room, bedroom, work. And then, like I said, I wasn't sleeping that much. And I was like, doing submissions like 2 a.m., 4 a.m.
Oh, that's terrible.
And what needed to push me was actually sugar.
Okay. Oh yes, so you drink a lot of sugary drinks.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yeah, right. So you can fact check this again, right? But also, if you look at foods and the things that you intake, right? People might think fat is the thing that you intake that make you fat. But actually, that's not true. Actually, it's sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So throughout, the past year of researching, whatever, it's actually sugar. Sugar is the one that is really making you grow big very fast. So when I was working, I was drinking a lot of sugar coffee. My favorite at that time was this Nescafe can. The very normal one, it says original. Actually, in fact, if you look at the can, it actually says healthier choice.
Oh shit.
So maybe I had the illusion that it was healthier.
It was healthy, so you drink more of it.
Correct. So I drink more. So I was drinking probably maybe at least 2 a day. So one in the morning when I wake up, one in the afternoon to continue my day. But if I'm working late at night, that's the third one that's coming in. Yeah. So last time I used to think that energy drinks were the ones that I shouldn't drink. Like example Red Bulls and all this, I shouldn't drink because too much sugar. But then now that because I look at the labels and I thought healthier choice, I'll use the healthier choice.
It just have the illusion.
But it's about volume also. So maybe you can drink the healthier choice once a day. But the moment you push and push, right? Then over the weeks, over the years, over the months, over the years, I realized my weight is growing and growing. I see it in the mirror, but like I said, because I don't have a weighing scale, right? There was no metric to tell me that I was getting heavier. But here's the thing. Here's what happened. Is basically family, friends. You sometimes don't see them for a while when you start working. Then you see them like one month. Then they're like, "Hey, you put on weight, That's always the comment.
To yourself, it's a gradual thing.
They try to put it nicely. They try to say,
I see.
Hey, you've been eating a lot. Well, good for you, kind of thing. But deep inside, you kind of read between the lines. You decode what they say, right? They're basically saying you're fat, lah. Yeah. Okay, like for me, personally, I'm not afraid to say the F word. People say, "Oh, you shouldn't call somebody fat or whatever," right? But I mean, it's the title is in our podcast, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you should be ashamed of saying that you are fat. In fact, it should be very reflective of you to say that I am fat and I need to do something about it.
You do something about it. Correct. That's a very important thing to do.
So, like I said, I not only knew that I was fat, but by metrics, I knew I was obese.
Correct.
So not just overweight, I was obese to the point where we have higher risk of a lot of things.
Correct.
So it's like diabetes, blah, blah. But for me, it was less about the diabetes, however. It's really more about the going around and like feeling heavy. So like even, let's say the lift is full, then
it does hinders the day-to-day
Correct,
activities.
exactly, yeah. So like confirm some point in the day or week or whatever, you need to climb some stairs. Like lift breakdown, whatever, escalator breakdown. And then I realized when I'm climbing the stairs, I'm like gassed out at the top.
Get more tired.
Yeah, and then I'm like how did this happen, right?
Yes.
And then again, I tried to put it on to the excuses of, I'm working, I have no time.
It does accumulate after a while.
Correct, yeah. And the thing is, when you work in the office, or for me when I'm at home, right? I just try to keep it cheap, I just eat Maggi, or
that's the worst.
I fry some nuggets,
Yeah.
And then when I'm in the office, I just go down. I used to work at this place that is an Encik Tan. It's the cheapest thing you can get. So
correct.
$5, Encik Tan, bang in, continue working.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Encik Tan is super unhealthy.
You don't get the proper nutrition.
Sure,
the pyramid,
exactly.
The food pyramid.
But if you think about it also, Encik Tan also had that volume about it.
Yeah, it's all about calories,
correct,
very oily.
Correct. So what happens is I eat that. It has a lot of rice, right? So
Yeah.
I always eat the chicken cutlet and a lot of rice. So I finish up the rice because I pay already ma.
Yeah, and it's a part of the serving.
Part of serving, I should
you
finish
gotta
it. So I finish it, then I go back to the office.
Yeah.
Then I'm damn tired. You are full coma.
Yes.
Right? But you're full coma because of the rice, because of the carbs.
We'll get to it, but it's like low GI foods and high GI foods.
So then I'm back in the office, I'm sleepy, I need to go back to work, and I chug another can of coffee.
Oh, then
and then I'm like, okay, I'm awake, I can do work, okay.
Yeah.
And then when I go home, I'm like, I'm so lethargic, I'm so tired from work,
Yeah.
I feel I'm just gonna lie down
It
and
does
chill,
affect your
use my
entire
phone
day, then,
or whatever. And then like I said, it's a slow creep. It's always a slow creep. Then you realize, then for me, especially when you go to your holidays or whatever, then when you need to hike or you need to
you see the effects of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I can't do the things that
you cannot fully enjoy what the holiday is.
You can't fully enjoy what a holiday is. And then every time you wake up in the morning holiday, you're like, I just want to lie down in bed. It's a holiday, what? You always have the excuse.
Yeah.
It's a holiday, what? I can wake up whatever time I want. Why should I get up so early and go hike this stupid mountain? Yeah.
Yes.
Then, okay, so then this is like my peak, quote unquote, laziness lah. Where I'm just like, and again, the opposite of compliments lah were coming to me. So I'm meeting like Jimmy, I'm meeting whoever, and then they're like, hey, you put a lot of weight, blah blah. And then I
didn't say that.
No, okay, maybe he didn't lah, but a few people did, and there were this emotion of for me, I like to deflect it with humor. Lah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But I know deep inside that
You
not
have to
say
make
I feel hurt. I just,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And it was more of a self-reflective of, imagine I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like telling myself, what are you doing? Or what have you done? How did you get here?
How do you get here?
How did you get here? And I was so angry at myself at one point. So the genesis of it was I play futsal, like football, recreationally with some of my friends. Sometimes they invite and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then you play like 2 hours generally. Then you swap teams, whatever.
Yeah.
So usually like after like two sets or whatever, I'm like okay lah, I'm done for the day kind of thing. But like there was one time when I'm with my family and they invited us to 11-a-side football. I generally don't play 11-a-side because I know it's a very long game. It's 90 minutes, right? And we didn't really have subs, so maybe like 2 or 3 subs. So like you kind of have to be forced to play the whole game. And I played like the defensive position, which I thought was like fine, just stay at the back, run so much, right? But honestly, by like the 10-15 minute, I was gassed out.
Yeah.
I was gassed out.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I gave the excuse like, oh, maybe it's the sun or whatever. But it's not the sun, honestly. It was me. I was too heavy. And I realized that as I run on the pitch, right, it's really as if you're carrying an extra backpack. And like when you're playing against the opponent, right? So our opponent was kind of friendly, right? So they had younger people, okay?
Yeah.
So no shame here. Me and Jimmy are approaching 30, right?
Yes.
And
that's terrible.
Yeah, but mindset-wise, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like I'm still 18, like fitness-wise.
I totally agree.
You get that mentality
I feel like peaking,
of like, oh, we are still strong, we can still do
Correct,
it. Okay?
yes.
But that day on the pitch, right,
Yeah.
I was going against an actual 18, maybe it was 20, an actual younger person, 10 years junior than me, right? And when the ball is in front and you're like, oh, I can do it, man, I'm freaking still 18 years old. And then you see the guy just easily go past you. And you are at max peak speed, right? And then you realize, oh shit,
oh no,
I'm not 18.
You're actually not 18.
I'm freaking 30.
You need to put in more work.
And not only am I 30, I'm 30 and overweight.
Oh no.
I'm not overweight, I'm obese. Right?
Yeah.
So then I realized, okay, so that wasn't the hit yet. The hit was like, okay, after the game was over, it was the next day. It's always the next day.
Oh no, the soreness came in.
When you wake up and you're like, I feel freaking 50 years old right now.
Oh no,
My legs were super sore. I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. And then I was just really like, I have to do something about this.
Yeah.
Right? So at this point, personally, at this point, my wife was pregnant. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was preparing to welcome a baby to the family. And then I really had the reflection of, am I gonna be that kind of dad that just accepts having a dad bod? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You know, people say, oh, like you're gonna have a dad bod. You're gonna have a dad bod. And then I'm like, oh, okay lah, okay lah, dad bod. This is the dream dad bod kind of vibes. Then I think, am I really gonna be like that? So I had this reflection of really, what is the next 40 years of my life? And do I want to run around with my kids? When my kids grow up, let's say when my son is 18 years old or whatever, in however so many years, do I want to be on the field and play football with him?
Yeah.
Or do I want to be like, oh, I'm just too tired, or my legs hurt, or my knees hurt, and all this kind of thing. And then I realized, I want to be an active dad.
You want to spend quality time with your child.
Exactly. And I don't give excuses. If he says, oh, let's go hiking, I don't want to be like, oh, no, I'm too tired, or I can't do it anymore. So at 30, like I said, I felt old at 30, but at the same time, we need to realize that actually we're still young.
You're still young.
You still have
the
time.
Step to
you
fitness.
still have time. Honestly, to get into fitness, anytime is a good time. You might say, yes, exactly. You might say, some of you listeners might be 40 years old, 50 years old, and you think, maybe it's too late for me. I'm telling you, it's not. Correct. It never is,
Yes.
So, I, in a way, started this journey last year, like 28, 29, and then coming to this year. And then I realized that a lot can change in the year. Yeah.
Correct. And in my opinion, fitness also stems a lot of different things like confidence, stress levels, your sleep, how well you do in work.
Exactly.
So it stems. It's a very good foundation. Yeah.
I think it's a very key point. I think after losing a lot of weight, which I'll get into how I did it, but I really feel a lot more confident going out. I feel a lot more confident going to the beach even. Like,
Yes.
I feel confidence in my clothes. I don't feel shame anymore being in like the larger clothes, for example. So there was a portion in time where I'll touch on is that I went from like small to medium then to large.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fit the mediums anymore. And that was really like, oh, my wardrobe's filling up because I cannot use these clothes anymore. So I have to change everything to large. And then I just felt really ashamed. Maybe ashamed is not the word, but really just like, really, what am I doing?
Yeah,
like,
correct.
Like I used to fit these clothes really nicely. Then what happens now?
Yeah.
So yeah. But again, I think each person's key motivation can be different. Honestly,
can be different, yes.
we see online on TikTok,
Yeah,
whatever. Sometimes
correct.
like when people break up, then they
They
let's
need
hit
the
the gym,
motivation.
and then
They need that.
and then they
yes.
become super
the
fit.
breakup motivation.
Yeah, breakup or
Yeah.
whatever it was lah. Yeah,
Yeah.
It can be someone really giving you hate comments also. You know, to say that you're too big and you need to do something about it. Blah blah. Really, everyone's motivation can be different. But for me personally, it was really having the foresight to see, am I gonna sit at the sides when my son is playing football on the field, or am I gonna be on the field with him? And the answer is, I want to be there on the pitch with him, and him remembering that forever. That his dad was a superhero. His dad was the one on the field, whereas every other dad was the one who was sitting at the side.
You want to be a good role model for your kid.
Exactly. Yes. So I think that was really the genesis. Yeah, so talking about the diet part, right? So I think this episode we want to touch more about the diet part. So how I started with it. Actually, it's exactly that. So how I started my fitness journey, it was a very phased approach. Where it wasn't recommended by anybody. I was just trying something, right? So I wanted to try diet first and then do the exercise. Because I used to run, I used to whatever. I think we all go NS, we all know what we do, right? So I thought that exercising is not the difficult part because we know what we are doing, right? So the key to me was doing something that I don't know how to do and very hard to do. Or I thought it's very hard to do.
The intake.
Which is the diet part. First of all, you don't know what is a diet or what a diet looks like. You can search online and then they say, oh, eat salads. You know, when you go out or whatever.
Eat healthy.
But
what is healthy?
But if I ask you, you go to Swenson's, for example, right? There's a salad page. There is a salad page. But do you really want to go to Swenson's, pay $20 and eat salad? It's so demotivating, right? It's like, I want to go there and eat well. Or eat the nicer stuff. What I pay for is, but truth of the matter is there's a lot of sacrifice when it comes to diet. So how I personally started with it was, I actually used ChatGPT to really ask, I'm at this particular weight, I'm trying to lose weight, what can a diet look like? And they gave me some tips and I think fitness and losing weight is sometimes about experimentation also, because every body is different. I can also think that your metabolism might be higher than mine. Maybe it's even a fact. It's probably 100% fact that an 18-year-old's metabolism is
a bit higher, faster
than ours. So they can afford to eat more or have more things compared to us at this moment. Or even we can afford to eat more than a 60-year-old, right? It's just facts, right? So metabolism just goes down over age. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to slow it down, right? So so James is going to pull up something about metabolism here, are we?
So you're right. So younger people do have a higher BMR. Due to more lean muscle and higher functional activity. So older people gradually decrease with age, about 1 to 2% per decade. So it's true, based on age also.
So I think this is something that caught me off guard because like I said, I think we have this mentality of we're 18. So correct. I eat like I'm 18. I try to outrun an 18-year-old like I'm 18. But then your body really tells you that you're not 18 anymore.
You don't see the effects also. BMR is something that you don't see effects immediately.
Correct.
So after a few months, then you see it, then you realize, hey, it's too late. Or maybe you could have started earlier.
And I think like when we were in school, we were moving around a lot. Let's say going to class. But then for us we were, as in now we are in the office. So I think we're sitting down a lot. Maybe not moving around as much.
Oh yes, correct.
So I think that might be a contributing factor to the slowing down of metabolism
and the churning of calories also.
Exactly. So we want to explain metabolism to a bit more degree, in a bit more layman terms. So what is metabolism, right? So from what I understand, is that metabolism is how you break down the food that you take in, right? Converting the food that you eat to nutrients for your body to use and to store lah, right? So if you have a slower metabolism, you will end up storing a lot of the food that you eat. Whereas if you have a higher one, then you will use it
more efficiently.
More efficiently, correct.
So bringing up ChatGPT,
yes.
So whatever he said is totally correct. So it's the breaking down of molecules, carbs, fats, proteins to release energy. Determine how much you can burn and everything. So that is what metabolism is.
Yeah, right. So but I think age is not the only factor.
Not only factor.
Yeah. Maybe you can search also. I think there are other factors like maybe weight also. I think gender I think also makes a difference. Yeah.
So
right. So there's genetics is one key one, which I think we'll get into it a bit later. So what I'm trying to say here, as you can see on screen, right, there's like sleep, body size, diet, stress, all these are factors, right? So what I also kind of saw this when I started my weight loss journey, and I tried to tackle it. I wouldn't say one by one lah, but sometimes one is
contributing factor
then it helps, then it knocks down like a domino, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So again, like back to my point of the first thing I did to try to fix my weight was diet. So why diet? Like I say, I think it's the hardest thing to do, particularly in Singapore, because there's not really a blueprint.
Yes, especially if you go on dates or whatever. One of the most things you do is eat.
Exactly. And Singapore is like a food haven.
All about food. Yeah.
Exactly. When I show you, it's like, hey, Jimmy, let's go have lunch.
Correct.
Let's go have dinner.
Yeah.
We don't say let's go out and have a run or whatever. Exactly. Generally no lah. So everybody says let's go and eat. Okay. So diet was the first thing I tried to tackle. So one thing is the structure of your meals throughout the day. Okay. So I think generally people eat 3 times a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Correct.
So I wouldn't say I am any different, but it's just now I take a bit more care of how much it is per meal.
Per meal, okay.
Right? And also structure it around the day itself.
Yeah.
So for me, breakfast will be at home, right?
Okay.
Lunch will be at work. Okay?
Yes.
Dinner, generally outside or you're back home. So you kind of look at it in this way. So for me, breakfast, I try to keep it light because, if you see what we showed earlier, sleep is actually one of the key things, right? So I try to get as much sleep as possible.
Yes.
But with that said, if you get more sleep, you have less time at home, means you're going to work straight after. So for me, I kind of like, I wouldn't say skip breakfast, but I have a breakfast to go. Okay.
I see. Okay.
Then just get to work. Okay. So how I tackled it previously was I skip breakfast entirely. Okay. This is at the start of the weight loss journey. I skip breakfast entirely. So in my head, if I have just lunch and dinner, I'm eating less calories. Kind of makes sense, right? Mathematically, you're having one less meal.
Yeah.
That's not entirely true. If you want to try GPT, also you might find yourself overcompensating. That means you eat more for lunch and you eat more for dinner because you have the mindset of I'm not having breakfast.
Especially if you skip breakfast, you also affects your work also.
Correct, exactly.
Then you wait until lunchtime.
Yeah.
Or you might drink more coffee.
Exactly. Or there's this risk of I need to snack.
You need to snack. Yeah.
So I didn't have breakfast, so I'm like, 10 o'clock, let's go have a snack. Okay. You go to the pantry or whatever. So this can be dangerous. Okay.
Yeah.
So breakfast is something that I would say is key.
So must have the discipline to actually prepare and have breakfast.
Correct. So when I started, I skip breakfast. Okay. But what I do now, so let's change it up. So what I do now is I actually have a egg, a boiled egg white. Okay. You can have the egg yolk also, but I don't like the taste of boiled egg
yolks.
Like very crumbly.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. So I just toss that aside and I just eat egg white. Okay.
Yeah.
So why egg white? Egg white is very high in protein. Actually, very dense protein, and I would say relatively low in calories.
Yep.
And then I eat an apple. So it's only these two. So a boiled egg white and an apple. So an apple is gives you energy actually. Gives you a lot of fiber for the rest of the day. And it's very easy for me. I just slice it up, put it in a bag, Ziploc bag, and then I bring it on the way to work. By the time I reach work, I finish it already. Right? So this is a very quick breakfast for me. Some people might prefer having oats or maybe cereal, but cereal you need to be really careful.
Yes,
because
very sugary.
Exactly.
Yes.
So a lot of especially when you enter the FairPrice or whatever supermarket, right? These lines and lines are actually very high in sugar.
High sugar cereals.
Cereals, yeah. So talking about like touch a bit about budget, right? So if you have a bit of a higher budget, you can afford the whole meal
grains, the nuts and the berries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these are a bit higher in fiber and higher in protein, but of course more expensive.
Correct.
So for me personally, I would rather you avoid the sugar and don't have it at all than to force yourself to have breakfast.
Okay.
So so actually maybe we just touch a bit on that. So like what is fiber and what is protein? You know, when we talk about fitness, we always say, oh, you need to eat protein. People say, oh, buy protein shake. Maybe substitute your meals with a protein shake. So what is protein and why is it super important for a person in fitness, right? For me also, I like to stretch it a little bit and talk about fiber also. Why is fiber important for your general well-being? I would say it's less so for the muscles, but more of your general well-being. So yeah, so on proteins, okay, maybe fiber side, we talk about it.
So fiber is a type of carbohydrate that your body cannot fully digest. It's found in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. It's low in calorie and adds to bulk to meals. So it's actually very important. Fiber, it adds volume so that it keeps you full for longer.
Exactly.
And then there's this thing called high GI and low GI foods. So high GI, it decomposes energy very fast. So you feel tired very easily after eating. Low GI food stays in your body and gives you energy constantly.
Right.
Okay.
What does GI stand for again?
So let me just quickly search out what is high GI and low GI foods.
Right. Yeah, so if I touch on the point on, how do you pronounce that? Satiety? Basically.
Saturated? Was it?
No, the first one, satiety. Basically how full you feel.
Okay.
Through experimentation throughout the past year and so, right, I realized that it's very true. When you have higher fiber foods, right, you realize that you're full for longer.
Yes.
And this is very important when you do your weight loss journey because you can try to eat, okay, the basic thing is, okay, just eat less or just have a smaller portion, right? But I'm telling you, you're going to be hungry. So having less portion is correct, but in that portion, you need to have higher in fiber, higher in protein. So you feel full for longer.
Correct.
So then you don't snack, okay? So I think snacking is dangerous. You might snack on things that say high protein, or whatever, but if you, like I say, it's all about
too
volume.
much of it.
If you snack too much, even though it's healthy food, you actually gain weight also.
Correct.
Yeah, so you do have to think about, like eating less, but making that less more exactly, more efficient and count, a bit more. So for things that are high in fiber. So obviously you can read the labels on whatever products that you're eating, whether high in fiber or whatnot. But if you can see from ChatGPT, it's generally your fruits. Yeah. So that's why I eat an apple in the morning. But I also have a look at the things that are branded with higher in fiber. I tend to trust that a bit more. So. But caveat here is that high fiber, high protein foods are actually a bit more expensive. So what I recommend is more whole foods. Whole foods are a bit
non-processed foods.
Non-processed food, Okay, so talking about processed foods, right? We'll go on a tangent here. The number one thing that I would say when you're going on a weight loss journey is the number one. Okay, there's like fried food, oily food, blah blah food, air fried food, blah blah blah. The number one thing to not eat anymore, cut it out of your diet, is processed
foods.
100%. If there's one thing you need to cut out, it's processed food. Your hot dogs, your I'm not being a hater but all those rojak stalls, right? You know, all the deep fried stuff and all your fish cakes and all this. All these, I hate to say it also, but like when we go to hot pots, sadly, hot pots are very high in processed foods. All your tahui, or your cheese tofu, the condiments, basically things that are not I would say not natural but everything is natural actually if you think about it. But because to produce these processed foods,
a lot of chemicals added,
a lot of
preservatives, exactly, to make it more flavorful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you just think about it, or at least I watch some documentaries and whatnot, right? People who live in rural areas and they eat natural foods like from the farm. They just eat meat and vegetables, real whole foods. They actually live longer, a lot longer.
And they're more lean in muscle mass.
Exactly. And they're more active. They're at 100 years old, they're walking around, still farming at 100 years old. So why is this so? Whereas the opposite side, right? If I want to throw shade on a certain country, right? There's the US, you know, it's full of processed food everywhere.
Yeah.
Not only in processed food, but in the volume of processed food. It's so readily available and it's so cheap, so easy to get. Maybe we fall into that trap sometimes also.
Correct. Yeah. It's cheaper, easier to get. Yeah.
Correct, yeah. I wouldn't deny it. Last time, hot dogs sounds very nice. But honestly,
and going to McDonald's is only $4.50.
Very easy, very easy to get it. But the number one thing really is to cut out the processed food. So I think processed food is the number one thing.
If you don't mind, let me segue into these.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So
back to the fiber.
Processed foods, high-protein processed foods are actually also high GI foods in general.
Yeah.
So not only fat gain, it can also trigger a lot of issues like diabetes, for example, insulin spikes.
Right.
And also, said here also, often less filling and may lead to overeating. So these are one of the biggest issues in high GI foods.
Correct.
Okay. As compared to whole foods like low GI foods, okay, it gives you a slow, steady rise in blood sugar.
Yep.
So you fall less prone to diabetes.
Yeah.
And also better for weight management. So
and satiety. Okay, correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I just know it's how full you feel, or how satisfied you feel. So maybe I touch on that high GI food, right? Like I saw an example there is white bread. So I completely agree with this. Okay, so when I started my journey also, bread is like the staple in Singapore. Maybe like because when we were in primary school, we used to I don't know about you, but my grandma always used to make me white bread, then just put Nutella or something, and that is my lunch. Then I tapao to school.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very basic staple Singaporean breakfast, or a very staple thing, and it's sure we can you can have bread, but again it's the volume of it. The thing about bread, right? If you go and buy bread, right, it actually expires very quickly. I think like 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, so you end up trying to force yourself to finish it,
right?
bread,
especially you buy a big loaf.
Exactly, yeah. So this big loaf of bread actually contributes to your
to
the
extra
weight gain,
value. Big loaf.
Yeah.
Contributes to weight gain.
Yeah. I think it's a bit hidden. So what I see in my office also, especially, is that people come to the office, right, and they buy like breads, maybe from the bakery or whatever, before they start work. But to me, right, we can again fact check this, but if you buy bread, especially the sugary kinds, one thing is, again, it doesn't keep you full for very long, so you end up snacking again. And if you have this for breakfast before you go to the office, right, you realize you might actually be a bit more tired than you are more energetic. So swap that out, right? So swap that bread for a fruit, like I said, an apple or banana, whatever is your favorite fruit, right? And I promise you, you'll be a lot more alert at work. You'll be a lot more full for longer, and but again, no shade to the bakeries. I mean, respect to them. They've been keeping me.
I think it depends what bread you buy also.
Correct, yeah.
White bread, high GI. But you get whole grain sourdough bread is better, way better. For you.
Definitely.
And depends on the spread you get also.
Correct, yeah.
So if you get like your Nutella, definitely bad.
Correct,
If you get like your non-sugar jams, it's also pretty flavorful also.
But I would say maybe not totally cut it out. I would say reframe it.
In moderation.
But for me, the way I reframe the foods that I really like, right, like the sugary stuff, I take it as rewards. So I need to work for it. And I promise you, it will taste a lot better, actually. Because if you eat it every day, right, then
what get too repetitive.
Then I'm like, okay, I can get it anytime. But if I tell myself, I need to work to burn this much calories for today, so that I can earn that Nutella. And then when I eat that Nutella, it feels a lot nicer.
I see,
But honestly, even when I reach that point, right, when I know I've burned, let's say, 2,000 calories in a day, and then I realize, I can have a Nutella. Then I realize, should I throw this effort away and eat a Nutella? So it kind of helps itself also, actually.
I always had this mindset, like, is this worth the calories,
Yes,
and if it isn't, maybe I have one bite.
Right.
Then I'll just leave it aside,
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so wait, I think we are like time for episode. Maybe we bring this to the next episode. We'll continue talking about food. So maybe Jimmy, we wanna conclude this episode
so
first.
We have talked mainly about motivations in how to keep a diet, clean sources of fiber, of breakfast, how to eat cleanly, avoid high GI foods, processed foods, and eat more whole foods like vegetables, not vegetables but fruits.
And what to cut out, processed foods, cut it out. Really, number one.
No more processed foods.
No more processed food.
In moderation. And then in the next episode, we'll talk more about how to.
I think we can keep talking about food also. About the lunch and dinners that I do, and how you can keep it sustainable. Because again, I think doing a crash diet is not the answer either. So we'll see you in the next episode, right? So just remember to eat well,
keep working out,
and live
avoid
healthy.
those processed foods.
All right,
Okay.
we'll catch you guys in the next episode. All right.